Hey guys, I just had the coolest idea. What if I made my own Kirby copy ability? So that's what we're gonna do for this video. First, let's actually think of what the copy ability is gonna be itself. Since I like to draw and animate, I was thinking of like an artist Kirby, but that already exists. So I had to think of a different idea. What else do I like to do? I like to play games, but a game of Kirby wouldn't be that interesting. Games use technology. And what is technology? A TV! I know it's a weird conclusion, but that's actually how it came to my head. And also it's a super cool idea, so let's stick with it. Now, what is TV Kirby gonna actually look like? At first I was thinking like a robot, but he isn't a robot, he's a TV. So let's just add a TV on top of his head, right? Well, not exactly. Kirby with a TV on top of his head just looks kind of bland and boring. So let's add some cool details. What do most TVs contain? Buttons on the side, right? So let's add some cool multicolored buttons on the side. Maybe red, blue, and yellow? Now Kirby looks so much better, but we could do so much more with the way he looks. Another thing we could add is a little star in front of the screen. And the screen's tint would change based on what color Kirby you are. That could be cool. Another thing we could add is a little wire with a plug at the tip of the wire. This could be used for combat. One last final detail I'd like to add is a little HAL logo at the bottom front of the TV. And that's it for Kirby's looks. And next up is the enemy, which is actually where you get the copy abilities from in the games. Just so you know, just in case you've never played a Kirby game before. And if you've never played a Kirby game before, then why are you watching this video? And here's the enemy. I actually had him made way before I even started working on this video, and I just decided to use him now because he looks similar to the design that I gave Kirby. And as for the name of the enemy, his name will be Plug because he has a huge plug that you can just whip around with. And yeah, that's all I have to say on the enemy. So that concludes this part of the video. And the next part is the stage the enemy will appear in. This isn't really necessary, but it lengthens out the video and it's more content for you guys. And it just sounds genuinely fun to do, so I'm gonna do it anyways. So what I was thinking for the stage's theme was a virtual and modern type of thing, which fits a TV perfectly. Since it's a virtual and modern theme, what I thought of was a futuristic city. This futuristic city setting would mostly contain the colors pink, blue, and white, along with buildings and skyscrapers. A gimmick I thought of for the city stage was flying cars that would be coming from the background at lightning speeds and can run you over, so you want to avoid them as much as you can. There will also be caution signs that flicker 3 times before the flying car shows up and tries to run you over. Also, some flying cars will be parked and won't move whatsoever, and others will scroll up and down slowly. These types of flying cars will act as platforms for you to jump and float across. Another gimmick I thought of for the stage was these electrical outlets which would spat out a spark damaging the player. That's not all they can do, but I'll get to that when I get to the moveset part of the video. But for now, that's all I have to say on the outlet gimmick. One last gimmick I thought of was quite simple. And it's just blowing fans that will blow you backwards in an attempt to get you thrown off a platform or simply go backwards. The only way to handle these blowing fans is just by jumping over them. And that's all for the gimmicks of the stage. Now, as for the enemies that will appear in the stage, I put down all the ones right here on this list. And those enemies are UFO, which will only appear in hidden rooms, which it typically does in Kirby games anyways. Willy, he is just a wheel that follows you. That's it. There's nothing really special about him. Bouncy, she bounces. Cool Waddle Dees, a basic enemy that shows up in basically every single Kirby game that exists. Sometimes it doesn't even feel like they're enemies at this point, especially since the newest game in the series is having you save the Waddle Dees. So it could be a 50-50 if they'll appear as actual enemies in this stage. Waddle Dees, another basic enemy that shows up in basically every single Kirby game that exists, but he's actually an enemy and doesn't swap between being good and bad in the franchise, and it's way more consistent in the franchise than the Waddle Dees will ever be. Plasma Wisp, he's a ghostly floating thing. Bomber, he does big explosions and that's basically all he does in the games. Poppy Bros Jr., he is a terrorist walkie. He is a literal walking microphone. Something I don't have and I need very desperately because my audio sounds like shit. And of course, the last one that we need to include, plug, and that's the list. Anyways, that concludes this section of the video. Time to move on to the CopyAbility moveset. Finally, this might be the longest section of the video, so you better get ready for that. The Kirby combat gameplay is similar to Smash Bros, believe it or not, considering a guy named Masahiro Sakurai, or just Sakurai as everyone calls him, basically created both franchises, so no wonder they have such similar gameplay. Anyways, we're done with that little history lesson. Time to move on to the actual moveset. So by pressing the attack button several times, you'll do a jab, which is just 3 basic swings. The last swing ending off with a slam to the floor, killing any nearby enemies. Next is when you press the jump button or are already in the air, then you press the attack button. You'll swing your body and plug all around, which will send little sparks of electricity all around your body, obviously killing any nearby enemies. Last is by crouching then pressing the jump button, which will make you slide in the direction that you were facing. Then you press the jump button again, then pressing the attack button, which will send you spinning forward into the ground, doing a grand slam to the floor, and to accompany the slam I'll add some electricity effects. Now that's just the basic stuff. Time to move on to the more unique part of the abilities moveset. First idea I came up with was being able to glow in dark areas. I know there's something already like this in Forgotten Land with using full mode on a light bulb, but I just thought it would be a nice addition to this ability. This should be activated with one button press or a specific button combination. Next idea I had was a plug mechanic that lets you swing around by plugging in the plug into other plugs in the ceiling. I think that would add some variety into the platforming while also being fun at the same time. This other idea I'm about to tell you also involves the plug. Basically, this mechanic is a battery life. By plugging in the plug into other plugs in the walls, you can charge up your battery life. If your battery is higher, you'll be able to do way more powerful attacks, but if it's lower, the attacks will be weaker and electricity sparks will disappear. Battery will just lower slowly over time, or it will go down more dramatically if you're using attacks or special abilities. One last final idea I thought of is an extra mechanic. Things like food or enemies will glow through the walls with this activated, as you probably already guessed. This could be very useful towards finding secrets and stages as well. This is an ability where it can only be used when your battery is higher than 75%. And that's all of my ideas and mechanics for this CopyAbility. And stage. What's up? Sorry this video took so long, but you've probably already guessed why it took so long by just looking at the runtime for the video. I don't really know what to say. Just look at all this cool fan art. You should join my Discord server even though it's kind of dead. Maybe you could revive it. And I'll see you later. Or not even later. Probably like within like more than half a year because my upload schedule is really bad. Okay, bye.